Prog Rise! Connection! Complete! Metsubojinrai! Protect with unified will!
Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the premium Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, SHF Kamen Rider Metsubojinrai. Now originally I didn't actually have any plans to purchase this guy because at the time when his pre-orders were up, his price was a little bit too expensive for my taste at the time. And the fact that considering what you get from this kit, from the figure, it was a little bit lacking because in the series, yes, you do get the katana. However, he was also using other weapons such as the attached arrow, and then he was also using the claws of a certain rider. So I was hoping if those were actually included for that price, I was actually willing to get it. But once again, considering what you get, I decided not to get it. But after like 1 or 2 years later, I usually tend to check up on certain things, and then I found a very good deal for this guy as a second-hand figure. So it was very cheap, so I decided to go for it because it wasn't much of a big loss for me. Alright, so this rider is not actually from the main series of Kamen Rider Zero-One. He's actually in a movie. He's a movie exclusive rider. So the movie I'm talking about basically takes place after the main series of Kamen Rider Zero-One. There's a huge corporation, a different huge corporation that's not really included in the main, that's not really related to the main, character's company, but there's another company basically. And there was an American branch, and there was this guy who's from America who was trying to make this, mass brain AI thing where he could control, which would basically take away free will from the human gear / androids that are in the main series, where these are basically humanoid robots that could do multiple tasks, and at some point some of them would get their own free will and do stuff on their own. But this guy basically made a huge mass brain AI system where it would get rid of that, free will. And there are other androids who can actually transform into Kamen Riders who also had free will, and they took into place to liberate for those androids who were being used as tools / weapons and such. Of course, so on the process, four of them would fuse and to make into this rider as well, but at the same time that would also technically kill them, because after when they fused, they did have a brief moment of control and they were able to defeat their main enemy. But at the same time, the moment they finished that job, their systems, their AI, their memory got deleted, and this guy started to go on a rampage. So yeah, this guy is an entirely different character than what you think he is. And yeah, and I'm not sure how many you guys seen the movie, but this guy speaks English for some reason. Alright, so let me get it off the stand, and let's see what we got. So first of all, obviously you get the figure itself, and then obviously other than that you get the regular fist hands, and then you get the belt. The belt is looking pretty good. Of course, I believe, I don't own the DX version of this toy belt, but I believe the way how it works is that you buy like an extended part and then attach it here, and then you will get its dedicated progress key here. I'm trying to be extremely careful. There we go. Here is the progress key. Oops, sorry about that. So yeah, this is the opened up version. You can't really close them up there. They don't give you the closed up version as well. So yeah, so basically those holsters on the belt, once again, useless. No purpose, and I believe even though you do have a closed one, they don't really fit there properly. Because they kind of changed the size regarding that at some point. So yeah. Alright, so other than that, I really like the looks of this character or this rider, because he definitely gives out that robotic or android feeling going on here. And yeah, so this guy does actually move, acts, and fights like a killer robot. So it's kind of interesting. And here are the stuff that you're supposed to get, or that should be included in the box. So number one, you get this pointing finger. Believe it or not, this guy actually, before he speaks to an enemy, he does point at his enemy or his target and then speaks for some reason. So they do give you this finger only for the right hand. And then you get the typical stuff. You get the multi-purpose hands for holding the weapons for left and right. Oops, sorry about that. And then you get a fully open style hand right over here. Nothing too special there, and semi-open, fully open hands. So yeah, you get the basic hands as well, and you get the katana. Now this is a kind of a odd weapon, because there was a character called Horobi who does carry around this katana thing, but he doesn't actually use it. in battle most of the time. He just carries it around with it, but he does sometimes pull it out and shows off the blade. But once again, definitely an odd, usage of the weapon. Of course, there was one time he did actually use this for a specific purpose, but still, yeah. And then, so obviously you get two of them, but one, as you can see, one is the bladed form, basically the one that sheathes it out, that basically, out from its, holster. This one is basically the Solmo, the closed up version going on here. So, yeah, on the promo pics, it definitely looked like that you could pull out the sword from here, but no, you can see the handle, it's just on the peg system. So yeah, you're gonna need to do some part swapping when doing certain poses going on here. But it's really nice that you can actually pop out the handle for this, because that means you can definitely utilize this sheath at the same time without the handle once you have the sword out. So here is the bladed form, definitely looking nice. It's kind of, in Kamen Rider, it's really uncommon to get weapons like these, like a typical or a basic looking katana. So yeah, definitely a unique aspect of its own. Alright, so let's see what we got for this figure. So once again, let's see what we got. So let's start with the head here. Once again, I do like the head design overall. It definitely looks very machinery, definitely more robotic compared to a typical rider figure or a typical rider design. So the head can go down that much, up, down, not so much. Actually, you can move only up the head, not the neck. The neck doesn't go backwards, so this is as far as you go. And the neck, now technically the head should be able to move on its own, but once again, the neck joint is kind of stuck in there, so it is moving together. But 360, you should be able to go 360 as well. Technically, this guy is now a android / robot, so no human inside, so technically that should be possible. And then the main body, definitely looking, I do love all this crazy looking design on the chest going on here. You can see the Metsubojinrai symbols going on here on the inside, and then you can see some designs that kind of match that. And then the shoulders, these shoulder pads or armor, once again, these are actually connected to the main body. So there is some pros and cons to this, but yeah, number one is that if the main shoulder is connected to the main body, then obviously it's going to look, good when it's standing around. But the downside is that it's going to hinder the arm articulation. At this point, I can't go 360 like this unless I work my way around, but that's not really ideal because you don't know how far it can go to the side, so not ideal. So if the shoulder armor was actually connected to the main arm, then obviously you would have no problem moving the arm. But once again, this being connected to the main body, well, it looks good at most times, but it does hinder the arm articulation going on here. So pros and cons definitely exist. So once again, I'm not going to, as I showed, you can barely go 360, so and I don't really recommend doing that, but the shoulder armor does go up and down a little bit, and then the arm does have the 360 twist going on here, but once again, because of all this design, it's going to be extremely difficult to go 360, but it is possible. I've done it before. And then you do get a nice bend going on the arm, more than 90 degrees. And the hands are your typical SHF style hands where the ball joint is on the arm, and then the hand has the hole here, and then you do have a wrist joint as well. Alright, and then the arms can go to the side, all less than 90 degrees, because once again, a lot of parts are colliding each other as well, but you do get the forward and backward movement. But the problem is I can't really show you guys that because it is covered up by the shoulder. But once again, the design, I definitely like it because the fact that they have these engravings on the bottom and then they covered up with a red clear piece, so definitely looking cool. And now the main body, you do have a nice ab crunch going on here, and then going to side as possible. 360, I'm not going to even try that at this point because once again, for some reason, I believe this was kind of similar to SHF Kamen Rider Horobi. It could be because of the color, but definitely I feel like, or it looks like this guy has some of belly popping out, so a little bit on the fat side, but still, it could be just me, but still, yeah. And then here we have the bell, as I mentioned, that's it. You can pull out the progress key, and well, technically the DX toy would allow you to take off this front part, but once again, I don't think that counts for the SHF figure version, so I'm not gonna try that. So anything like forcing something on a figure is not really ideal most of the time. Now the legs, now the overall design, like certain parts here, like these sides here, I believe these are almost identical to the SHF Kamen Rider Horobi as well, but still I could be wrong. So you do get a nice size swivel going on here for each leg, so no big deal. Going forward, no problem as well. Going backwards, you have to go to a more angle because of how the butt design is, so that's that. and then going to the side, let's see, about roughly less than 90 degrees possible. So if you're going to do like a simple rider kick, you're gonna have to move both legs to match the angle going on here. So one leg itself isn't going to be able to go 90 degrees to the side. And then let's see, the bend wise, pretty good bend, decent bend going on here, so no big deal there. And then feet can go 360, and then you do get a nice pivot joint on the feet here going on, and then nice toe bend. So yeah, articulation wise, most of the parts are pretty average and pretty standard. However, the only part that I would say is limited would be the arms, because of how the shoulder armor is designed / connected to the main body. Now, this is not our first time seeing such design. We've seen certain riders like SHF Kamen Rider Caliber, no, not exactly, well, Caliber, Saber, and then Jowl Dragon. They all have the same issue where the armor is connected to the main body, so it actually hinders the main, arm articulation. Alright, so we see the basics of the figure. I'll be right back with this Katana, demonstration, and we'll end it off there. Okay, I'm back. So I've done one of the poses that are kind of mentioned in the box, kind of similar. So once again, I have the katana on the right hand, and then the sheath on the other side, on the left hand. So once again, you can actually take off the handle on the closed up sheath version. So it's very helpful to the fact that it looks like he did pull it out from that sheath. So yeah, the katana length, I would say it's pretty adequate. I really like the length of it. It doesn't feel too long or too short, so I think it's around the right length going on here. And once again, despite the shoulder armors, I think you can pull off most poses that were seen in the main movie or shows, or the poses that he technically does. So yeah, so technically if you're trying to do some more radical poses, that might be like problematic, but once again, for what you get when what you see in the movie, I think you are able to pull out most poses out there. And that is pretty much it for the review. So this was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive SHF Kamen Rider Metsubojinrai. Once again, I don't think this is a figure that you must have as a collector. This is one of those movie exclusive riders, so it's once again, it really matters, did you actually really like this rider or not. I happen to just find a really good deal that it would be stupid of me not to actually get that, so which is why I got it for myself. And so yeah, it's really up to you. And just for those who are wondering, yes, I have actually pre-ordered the P-Bandai exclusive SHF Kamen Rider Zero-Two and then Arc as well. So once again, I'm really looking forward for those as well. Anyways, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the SHF Kamen Rider Metsubojinrai. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.